Stadium here in Kansas City. Today, we're set for a good AFC matchup between the Buffalo Bills and the Kansas City Chiefs. Here's the kicker, Harrison Butker, ready to get this one started. And we are underway from Arrowhead. Pulls it in at the 13. And a decent return out to the 27-yard line. Into the air right away is Allen. That's caught by his tight end, Dawson Knox. Now a first carry for the brother of Dalvin. It's James Cook. Not much there. Maybe a couple up to the 35. Third play of this opening drive as they're looking at a 3rd and 3. To the air, Allen. And this pass broken up. Well, the contact well timed there, and now 4th down.
Oh, I thought he had that one, and that was nearly a big 3rd down conversion to give this drive some life. Instead, they're on the spot and help separate the receiver from the ball.
So they're going for it, and here's Allen. And he completes it to the tight end, Knox. And he is going to have the Bills' first down as they manage to convert, and that'll keep the drive alive. Devin Singletary with his first carry of the game. And not able to break away this time as they're going to stop him right around the line of scrimmage. Now on 2nd and 13. Allen. Dancing to his left. And that throw behind his man, he missed him, incomplete.
A lot of times it's that first read that you have. Maybe you get it in pre-snap, and he locked in on his target, but he was covered quite well, and that one's incomplete.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. He'll air this one out deep for Davis. This is caught inside the 15. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. So there is the big arm of Josh Allen on display. He can throw it as deep as anybody, and that was an absolute laser. They run here with Singletary. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Buffalo touchdown. Devin Singletary, a 5-yard touchdown run. And the Bills are on the board first here on the road in Kansas City. Extra point by Bass, up and good. And that makes the score 7-0. After the touchdown, Bass to kick it away. And here comes a return from a few steps into the end zone. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get this up to the 29. Mahomes will lead the Chiefs up 1st and 10, just shy of the 30. They'll try and start this drive in the air. Man open, that's It's Marquez Valdez-Scantling. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. Successful start to the drive, 17 yards, and moves the sticks. A big hitter to start the drive has him up near midfield here for 1st and 10. In motion, the tight end, Kelsey. On 1st down, Mahomes. Catch is made by Hardman. He'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20. Mahomes now on 1st down. That's complete to Tony. And they're going to get this down inside the 15. Again, they'll throw with Mahomes. The throw for Tony is intercepted. Picked off by Micah Hyde. And the Bills will take over here at their own 12-yard line.
And as we've seen, points have been precious so far, and they just threw some away on that snap. And look, let's face it, as we advance further into this game, that play would be on the minds of everyone who's watching it. They wonder if this is the turning point. Is this the spot where those points were given away and could cost them a ball game?
So after the INT, it's Allen. Quick throw, knocked away, and incomplete.
Quarterbacks work all the time on manipulating the defense with their eyes and their head movement. In this case, he just stared the receiver down. That allowed for excellent coverage, able to knock that one away.
Throwing again on 2nd and 10. Allen. He's got it complete to Stephon Diggs. And able to get this to the 24-yard line. They began the play at the 12. It's also a pickup of 12 for the 1st down. On play action, Allen. He's got his target. It's the tight end, Knox. And he'll be taken down, but not before they reach the 50. 25 yards that time.
Well, as a coach, you absolutely love seeing your offense find their rhythm early, and that's exactly what we've seen so far. They had a touchdown on their opening drive, and now they connect here for another nice gain for a 1st down. This offense is moving the ball well, exactly as he drew it up in practice.
They'll run on 1st down with Singletary. And this time they were ready for him as they'll stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage.
So now 1st and 10 in Chiefs territory at the 32-yard line. To throw, it's Allen. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. That huge loss on the sack makes this job much more difficult. It's now 2nd down and 22 yards to go. From the gun, it's Allen. And this one incomplete. Threw it down at the feet of his receiver.
I know conventional wisdom says, hey, don't get it all back in one play. But sometimes you go ahead and try to. They tried to get it all back on that one. Weren't able to do so.
He'll take a shot for Davis to the end zone. Toward the back corner of the end zone, but he could not get the feet down. This will wind up incomplete.
There is something to a game plan with trying to keep a defense honest. When the guy with that type of speed, you do so. Send him deep. Try to throw some air under it and hope you connect downfield. On that play, they were unsuccessful.
Here's the punter, Martin, out to kick it away. And this is going to hit the goal line and continue on into the end zone for a touchback. The KC offense out of the huddle, ready for their next drive. As the offense comes out here, Charles, remember they threw the interception last time out, but they were moving the football down the field. Looked like they were going to have a sustained drive that ended in points, but then the pick ensued.
And because of that, there's no way you can call the last drive a success. Yes, there are things to build on because they found some play calls at work. Now, they've got to build another drive and find a way to avoid the turnover that plagued it on the last one.
Looking underneath, and he finds McKinnon. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Mahomes going to throw. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
And partner, to me, that one was all about timing. If he's there too early, it's going to be a pass interference call. If he's too late, it's a completed pass. He was Johnny on the spot on that one.
So after the incompletion on 1st, now 2nd and 10. Play action. Now it's Mahomes. The throw for Tony is intercepted. Picked off by Micah Hyde. And the Bills are going to take possession of the football. Second straight drive now here, Charles, that have ended with an interception.
And I just wonder, because I don't think it's going to rattle him necessarily, but I also wonder if it's going to unnerve him a little bit. Does it lead to another one? Or does he find a way to pull it together and become sharp again?
First down, and they're going to throw with Allen. And Diggs has it. And a nice pickup there as he'll get about 9, and that will lead us to a stoppage here at the 2-minute warning. So the completion results there in 9 yards, and that'll give them a short yardage situation here for 2nd down. They'll run a draw now with Singletary. And he's able to get it to the edge of the red zone at the 20-yard line. First down, they stick with Singletary. And he is going to lose yardage here. So after the loss of a yard, they'll look to push forward here on 2nd down and 11. They go right back to Singletary. Strong run, but still wrangled before reaching the 20. The Chiefs now going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Backed up here, tough spot, needing 11 yards to pick up the first. Throwing is Allen on 3rd. And that is incomplete.
Oh, that's going to hurt a bit because they needed to come through with a completion there. Now a drive that started with great field position is facing 4th down.
The kick by Bass is good, and the Bills will add on to their lead. So they get the turnover in plus territory. The drive stalls out, but still able to get 3 out of that.
Yeah, we were able to see an offense and a defense kind of mix and match with each other, didn't we? Both of them trying to make sure that they had the upper hand and the advantage. Offense trying to get to the end zone. Defense, of course, trying to hold them to a field goal attempt. And it wasn't a guaranteed lock 3 from where they started. So, you know, the offense has to be happy to come away with those 3 points.
The Chiefs offense about set to begin this drive. And it's been a miserable start for them offensively. Obviously, 2 drives, 2 interceptions.
And this is where you have to know your quarterback and know how you actually have to reach him. Do you do it with a little bit of humor? Maybe you break the ice a little bit like, hey, didn't we practice in that colored jersey all week? Not the one that you're throwing it to? Or maybe you have to be stern with him. But whatever it's going to take to get the message, it has to be done. He's putting the game in jeopardy.
A dump down to McKinnon. They get 7 out of that, so they're left with a 3rd and 3. Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the first. Mahomes looks to throw on 3rd down. They'll find Juju Smith-Schuster. Now another timeout called for by the offense. As they stop it here with just under 40 ticks to go in this first half. First and 10 here, and you know, if they could just get 3 out of this, something about whittling it to a one-score game at half that might provide a psychological boost. Open man downfield is Hardman. He's got it. And he's going to have the first down as they move into field goal range here at the 25-yard line. On first and 10, here's Mahomes. And in for the Chiefs touchdown. Mahomes hitting his favorite target, Travis Kelce, on a touchdown pass. And the Chiefs are on the board here in the final seconds of the first half. Extra point by Butker is on target. And that'll cut it to 3 and 10-7. So not much time to work with here. 9 seconds remain in the half as this one is away. Taken from about the 12. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30. Final shot before half for Allen. Going deep for Diggs. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete. Time for a break. We've hit halftime. 2 quarters down. 2 still remain. We step aside. This is the NFL on EA Sports. And we welcome you back live now inside the booth alongside Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin, set and ready to rock for the third quarter. It'll be the Chiefs football to begin quarter number 3, and they trail here as we are back underway now on EA Sports. This will be brought out from the middle of the end zone. And he'll be out of bounds here just past the 20-yard line. The KC offense out of the huddle, ready for their next drive. This offense, Charles, had a strong first half throwing the football, at least in terms of yardage, but that hasn't translated so far on the scoreboard as they begin the third quarter here, trailing and looking for a little momentum.
Yeah, you're right about that because, you know, let's face it, in the first half, most of their focus was in the passing game. And to their credit, resulted in a healthy amount of yardage. So I would think that at halftime, they're going to anticipate that defense loosening up a little bit to try and cover the passing lanes. They've got to get the running game going, and there's going to be some gaps to run through now.
And he gets us to the other side of midfield across the 45 before going out. 16 more on that one and another first down. Here's Mahomes to throw. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
And not a common sight, at least on this drive. A momentary setback, though, for this passing game that has been moving well this series. Good thing for them, though. Still 2 more downs to connect and try and pick up another first down.
Mahomes' throw taken in by Valdez-Scantling. And they're going to get this down to about the 37.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
Open man here. It's the tight end, Kelce. Touchdown! Travis Kelce with his second touchdown of the afternoon. And the Chiefs have taken the lead here in this third quarter. So on third and medium, they dial up the pass, and it works to hit the end zone.
And it's really not a surprise to me. That's a throwing down in the NFL because of how tough it is to run the football. But what offenses like to do is still show run formations to make them respect it and throw out of those. They In this case, they took a nice shot at the end zone and made it pay off.
Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. Taken from about the 12. And he takes this near the 25. Just a little pass there. Call it the 26. The Bills come to the line to start their next drive. And they'll be working from behind now following the touchdown a moment ago on the opening drive of the half.
I think the guys right now, as they go out on offense, they're zeroing in on one big key. They don't have to do anything differently just because they're down on the scoreboard now. The intent is still the same in what they plan to do on offense. The offense schemed going 5 wide, trying to create a chance for the big shot, and they took it. If he comes down with that one, that's a huge offensive swing. But credit the defense with a nice play, knocking that one away.
To throw on 2nd and 10. Allen. He's going to get this one out to his fullback. They do get a couple, but they'll be left staring at a 3rd and 8 coming up. They'll be in search of 8 yards here as they hope to convert the first down. Allen from the gun on 3rd down. He'll get this out wide to Singletary. And he is going to have a Bills first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Allen going to give this one to Singletary. And that one goes for about 6 as he's taken down just shy of the 45. The last run got 6. Now 2nd and 4. Play action. Now it's Allen. He rifles one that's intercepted. And the Chiefs are going to get the football here at their own 40-yard line. So a nice play defensively by the rookie coming up with the INT.
And that's a late-round pick right there, making a first-round impact. And a lot of these day 3 corners, they end up winding up on special teams and sub-packages and even on the practice squad. But he's really made an impact on this defense, and he comes up with the interception there.
Escaping the pressure right. And that'll be incomplete. We do have a penalty flag down, however. Let's see what that's about. Yeah, we kind of sensed that one. He got a little too far forward before throwing, and that one will set them back.
And remember, at the NFL level, being aware of where the line of scrimmage is crucial. And here's the other part. Any part of the quarterback's body that's near that line of scrimmage, he's going to get the benefit of the doubt. So he was clearly over the line.
Now Mahomes. And incomplete on the deep ball.
My first thought is surprise because that's one of the better tight ends around, and I've seen him pull in balls like this before. But how about a little credit to the defense forcing that incompletion?
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Working from the gun, Mahomes. He's got his man, Valdez-Scantling. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. Able to convert on 3rd and 14. A terrific play call.
Whenever we talk about moving the sticks and controlling the football, there's a great example right there. Those are the 3rd downs you need to convert to win football games. We're in the 3rd quarter of this one, and this is a tight one. In order to maintain pace, keep the ball away from the other team, and put points on the board, those are the plays they need to continue to convert.
Meanwhile, Mahomes throw into the hands here of Hardman. Down inside the 10. And in for the Chiefs touchdown. Nicole Hardman, 42 yards. And the Chiefs will add on to their lead here in the final minute of the 3rd. Extra point by Butker is on target. And that makes it a 21-10 game. After the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. taken from about the 12. And he'll go down as this drive will start at the 25-yard line. The Bills come to the line to start their next drive. And we'll see if they can bounce back from that last drive. In particular, if they can bounce back at the quarterback position, Charles, after throwing their first interception of the ball game.
Yeah, some guys, you know they're going to want to try and get a big play right away and take control back. Others, they're going to look to hit a couple shorter passes, get a little momentum back that route.
But for the defense, that goal's not changing a bit. They want another pick.
You're exactly right about that. In fact, you've got to watch them a little bit because in coverage, they may cut down their gaps a little bit, maybe their splits a little bit in order to try and get to the ball even faster. This is what defensive coaches ask of their defenders every single ball game. Get a hand on every throw in coverage. They want the deflections. They want the knockaways. Pick it yourself if you can, but at least knock it down and guarantee it's incomplete.
Uncorks one for Davis. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete.
I'm sure this isn't a novel thought, but maybe run some simpler routes instead of trying to get it all back in one shot. Defense certainly appears to be ready for him. Try and get it back little by little instead of in big chunks.
They'll run for it. Cook. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. So they fake the handoff. Now Allen. Toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a first down. Well done. 3 quarters have come and gone. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. So now 1st and 10 in Chiefs territory as they're down to the 29-yard line. Here's Allen to throw it. Throw right side, caught by Davis. And they're going to be set up now with the ball at the 13-yard line. First down, here's the run with Cook. And he'll fight his way down right around the 12. Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. Here's Allen. And he'll slide to a halt here, still a little shy of the first down marker. The offense on 3rd down tonight, they've converted just 2 for 6 thus far. They're looking at 3rd in the nose of the football. They'll run it. Here's Cook. And he won't have the touchdown, but he will have the first down as he's tackled at the 2. And now they'll throw with Allen. And this is caught for a Bills touchdown. Isaiah McKenzie, a 2-yard touchdown grab. And the Bills have made it a 1-score game again here in the 4th. Allen will try to throw for it. And this is caught. They got it. And that could be an important 2 points. It gets them back within a field goal. After the touchdown, Bass to kick it away. And here comes a return from the middle of the end zone. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback. The Chiefs offense about set to begin this drive. And with that last touchdown, I mean, we're set up for a good finish here. Some things to consider, Charles. Obviously, it's a very close game. Here in the 4th quarter. Defensively, they've got all 3 timeouts in their back pocket.
So the chess match really ramps up, doesn't it? Because in these situations, What do? Do you run the ball and kill the clock here? Or do you try and bury them with another score? And how about defensively? Do you use your timeouts at earliest opportunity? Or wait till you hit the 2-minute warning? So there's a lot going into this one. Let's see how each side goes about their strategy.
And the Bills are going to get him as he goes down. Clock continuing to run. They'll probably wind this all the way before snapping it on second down. Another try after the first down sack. Mahomes. Now look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. Tre'Davious White with a pick. And the Bills are right back in this football game. A seismic shift in momentum here in the fourth quarter. That's the break that the defense needed.
And you know as well as I do, people are going to question the play call in that situation. Sometimes you have to question the execution, not necessarily the call. And in this case, those defenders found a way to give their team a chance.
3 points separating these two sides with 2 minutes left to go in the fourth. So it's Bills football here as we get you reset. They come up on a 1st and 10, desperately needing a score here on what could be their final drive. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Allen. He's got the hook up with Diggs. And down he goes, taking it inside the 10, just shy of the 5 at the 6. They'll run with Cook. No gain on the play that time, and it sets up 2nd and goal.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
A line of scrimmage, once again the 5 as they get ready for 2nd and goal. Here's Allen. And complete, right side to Cook. Touchdown, Bills. James Cook, a 5-yard touchdown. And the Bills have moved out in front here in the fourth quarter. Well, we know he has decent hands out of the backfield. That's the first time, Charles, they've targeted him in the passing game, and it pays dividends.
And I love the design, too, because they kept him in the backfield, made the defense think run first before they swung him out of there. And you're right, with his hands, they might want to throw it to him just a little bit more.
After the touchdown, Bass to kick it away. And this is going to be returned from the middle of the end zone. The lane opens here. He's past the 30. And he's going to take this all the way down inside the 40.
And when you're facing a deficit on the scoreboard, you're just looking for something to get you right back into the game, and that's the spark that they were looking for. They got it with that big return.
Mahomes will throw. Flush to his right. And he's left with no option here but to throw it away. I see you nodding your head up and down. It's a very heady decision at this stage of the game. Out of the pocket, nowhere to go. Just get rid of it.
That's a smart play because you're not worried about your completion percentage, and you're also not trying to force it into bad traffic as well. Throw the ball away, live to fight another day.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. Mahomes. Open man, it's the tight end, Kelsey. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. The Chiefs will use the first of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with just under 50 seconds remaining in the fourth. So the ball down to the 16 here for 1st and 10. Mahomes. And this is caught. Touchdown. And they've taken the lead here in the final minute. What a game this has been, and what a drive that was, Charles, to take the lead here late in the fourth quarter.
And partner, that's a job well done by everyone, from the players to the guys calling the plays. And if I may introduce just one downside to the mix, might be a little bit too much time left. Enough on the clock for
after the touchdown. Here's Butker on to kick it away. Taken from about the 12. And good starting field position. He'll get this one all the way up to about the 35-yard line. The Bills come to the line to start their next drive. This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown on their last time out, looking to repeat that in Charles's defense. They were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways because you know they're both motivated. They both game plan for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can step up and assert its will over the other.
Allen. And this is caught. Touchdown. And they've taken the lead here in the final minute.
So many practices we watched over time where the offense works on scoring late in the game and finding a way to win, as we just saw there.
Just saw it right there. Now can they preserve that advantage that they just got? And the kick makes it through, but flags come flying in as well. It appears we're going to get a roughing call tacked on. Wow, a personal foul at this stage in the fourth. Hard to believe.
Really hard to believe, and now that glow of hope that you had begins to flicker out, doesn't it?
Yep. After the roughing penalty on the PAT, they'll kick off from 15 yards further upfield. It's a squib kick that still makes its way down inside the 15. And beyond the 20, but not by much. In fact, just a yard pass there to the 21. Complete. Valdez-Scantling. And he's going to pick up a first down here as that clock continues to run. Mahomes. Catch is made by Hardman. Now they do indeed get the timeout, so all is not lost. They'll have a chance for one final heave to the end zone.
And here we are in the fourth quarter, partner, and watch them drive for what would be a go-ahead touchdown. And you and I both know this is where you need a quarterback who can keep his cool back there. Not just for himself, but to keep the rest of the team relaxed too.
One final try for Mahomes. Looking downfield for Kelsey. And this is incomplete. So no miracles here on the final play.